Hello all. This is Jacobson and this is a brief retelling of the 22nd and 23rd episodes, the 11th season of the zombie series The Walking Dead. For a retelling of previous episodes, see the links in the description. As soon as this video gets 300 likes, I will release the sequel. Enjoy watching it.
Judith's voice reminds us that any world can be dark and broken, and that the face of death will one day become our own face. A group of survivors work in a labor camp under the supervision of guards. The princess points out Tyler Davis to IKEA and says that Tyler can be useful for their mission, and she is still angry at Tyler for taking Max hostage and does not trust him. Negan spots Annie and fights with two guards trying to get to her. When Annie attacks the guard, he knocks her down, not knowing that she is pregnant. Daryl and Carol are watching what is happening. Aaron, Jerry, Lydia and Elijah are pleasantly surprised when they encounter Luke and Jules, who warn them that Oceanside has disappeared. Luke explains that the Commonwealth Army came and destroyed everything. During Eugene's trial, Pamela speaks emotionally at the trial. Yumika realizes that she will not be able to get a fair trial over Eugene. The trial is interrupted by a knock on the courtroom door. Daryl and Carol find a group of Negan and Ezekiel in a labor camp. They split up into small groups to try to save everyone. They still haven't found the children. Ezekiel has difficulty finding those who could support his escape. The warden threatens Negan, but he believes he may have found a Commonwealth soldier capable of compassion. This soldier stands up for him in front of his boss, and later allows him to cast shadows at all. Daryl and Connie go down the sewer pipe. At this time, Maggie and Carol sneak into their old house. They run into a security guard, and Carol knocks him out. A group of walkers approaches Aaron and Jerry's group at the same time when they hear the sound of engines in the distance. They know that the Commonwealth Army is close. Yumika tells Max and Eugene that she needs to talk to Mercer. She's going to tell Mercer that Pamela kidnapped the princess and put her in a labor camp. Yumika needs Mercer to testify against Pamela, but he refuses. The trial is coming to an end, and Mercer just watches without saying a word. Eugene stands up and addresses the court and society. Eugene is found guilty.
Guilty of aggravated murder.
Soldiers burst through the doors of the labor camp. They raise everyone up and take them outside. It turns out that Negan confessed that he himself was plotting an escape, and the warden wants everyone to witness his death penalty. The warden decides that Annie must die with Negan. When the gun is pointed at Annie, Negan, and Ezekiel stands between the gun, Annie, and Negan, the others follow his example. The chief orders the soldiers to shoot them all. One soldier, who, as Negan thought, has compassion, orders the rest of the soldiers to lower their weapons, and he points his gun at the warden. The warden grabs Kelly and puts a gun to her head. Daryl and Connie sneak up on him from behind, and Daryl knocks out the warden. In the old house, Maggie thinks she's going crazy because she keeps hearing Herschel's voice. Maggie and Carol follow the voice and find a soldier guarding Herschel. They kill the soldier and untie Herschel from the chair. Rosita runs in and asks where the cook is. The cook isn't there, and Herschel doesn't know where she's been taken. Lydia, Elijah, Aaron, Jerry, Luke and Jules cover themselves in blood and mingle with the horde of walkers just as the soldiers approach. The soldiers do not understand that this is not just a walking thing, and pass by. Lydia accidentally drops the knife on the ground, but suddenly the zombie falls on purpose and picks it up. This, apparently, is the version of the zombie that is smarter than the rest. Elsewhere, during the fight, Negan prepares to kill the warden, but is stopped by Rosita, who wants to find out where her child is. The warden does not answer her, and she then takes a zombie soldier and tries to intimidate him with a bite to get information out of him, but he is adamant. As a result, she feeds him to zombies. When Eugene is taken back to prison, Mercer blocks his way and decides it's time to intervene. Mercer tells Eugene that it's time to flip the script, and removes the handcuffs from him. The 23rd episode of The Walking Dead begins with Judith as we look back at the entire Grimes family. She says that her brother Carl dreamed that they would all live together in peace. Negan is with Maggie, he asks her what the plan is to destroy Pamela. He says that he and she can do it alone, they don't need others, and she replies that they are not us.
There is no we.
Maggie hugs Herschel and says she loves him. Nigan's wife hugs him and tells him to be careful, she will hold the line, but he better come back in peace. Judith announces to Daryl that she is going with him, but he refuses. She reminds him that this is not the future that her brother wanted or that her mom and dad fought for. Daryl gives in, but tells her she has to stay by his side. Mercer returns Eugene to Max and Yumika. Eugene tells Mercer that he will never forget what he did for her. Mercer tells them to stay put until he gathers enough troops to go after Pamela. A horde of zombies is heading towards the Commonwealth, among them Aaron and the others covered in blood. Negan and Ezekiel are talking on the train. Negan says he never thanked him for standing under the machine guns and saving him. Negan asks why he did it. And Ezekiel says there are many reasons, it's too easy for martyrs to die. The fact that he lives and does something positive will help Iko cope with anger, he does not want to live the rest of his life in bitterness. The dead came for him, but he was smiling. The war has come for him, but he is smiling. Cancer, but he's smiling. He's trying anyway. Ezekiel asks why Megan gave his name and not his own. Negan replies that he wanted his family to tell a good story about him, that he did something right for a change, saved all of them, not himself. He knows that they are all better than him. Meanwhile, Maggie listens to all this from the other side. Daryl tells Judith that her brother Carl, her mother and her father would be proud of her. She says she would like to spend more time with her family. Daryl says that when it's over, he'll tell her a lot of stories about all the people who love her. The princess contacts Mercer on the radio and informs him that she is on the train, returns to him, and people are with her. They're going to destroy the broomstick. He tells her that if she can return these prisoners to him, they are witnesses, then he can destroy Pamela. The alarm sounds, this horde is heading for the Commonwealth. Those traveling inside the horde decide they need to separate, and when they see a trailer near the city, they see their chance. They try to get into the trailer, and when Lydia reaches out to grab Elijah, the walker bites off her hand. Mercer tells Max to follow him as Roy approaches. He tells her that his girlfriend, the princess, is coming back and she will bring her friends with her. The blocking procedure begins. Max hugs Mercer before leaving. Jerry and Aaron are trying to cope with the hysterical Lydia, they need to have surgery on her arm, otherwise the infection will spread. Aaron reminds her that he's done it, and she'll do it, too. Machine guns are firing, the horde is out of control.
All units retreat.
Meanwhile, Eugene is locked in a room and hears footsteps approaching. Someone knocks on the door and asks him to open it. Eugene unlocks the door, but hides behind it. When the policeman turns his back on him, Eugene hits him with a flashlight and knocks him out. In the trailer, Lydia is in pain, she tells Aaron that they need to leave. She says Elijah is waiting for them. Jerry tells her that she has lost a lot of blood. Jerry promises her that he will find them, they have lost enough, but he will go alone. Aaron says he's sure he'll find them and then come back. Our heroes who were on the train are now underground and making their way up to the main hall. Daryl sees the doors with locks and chains and realizes that it is a trap. Shots are fired all around, Carol, Daryl, Judith, and the others are ambushed by Pamela's soldiers. Pamela comes out, grabs a machine gun and starts shooting. It hits Judith right in the upper chest. Carol and Maggie continue to shoot and try to get a broomstick. Daryl is distraught and says it's time for them to leave. Pamela knows she shot Judith and screams, "You did it." Vicar opposes Mercer and takes him into custody for his plan to eliminate Pamela. Eugene, whom we love, is back. He goes outside and destroys the soldiers. These are the new walking climbers, and they won't let a stupid wall knock them down. Suddenly, the gates of the Commonwealth open, and a horde of walkers enters. Vickers goes to talk to Pamela. She informs them that the dead are in the Commonwealth. They climb the walls and fill it. Our new large group of heroes is in the city, and soon they realize that the paratroopers are no longer following them, as a horde of walkers has broken into the city. Meanwhile, Daryl runs with Judith in his arms, trying to find a safe place for her. Daryl gets into an alley, Judith looks at him and says, "Dad."